What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that has already been pretty largely discussed over the past week, but I still thought, I should give you my thoughts on this. But before I do that, just a few things that I want to quickly bring up. So first of all, just a big thank you for all the support to the top 25 PS3 games video, which I uploaded last Sunday. The response to that has been absolutely amazing. I think right now it has like over 800 likes, which is incredible. That's not the amount I usually get for a video, so yeah, that's really awesome to see. Put a lot of effort into that video, so it was great seeing that, being paid off. So once again, just really want to thank you for that. If you haven't seen the video yet, then go ahead. Like I said, I did put a lot of effort into it, and I think, it turned out to be a very good video. So yeah, like I said, if you haven't seen it yet, then you can check it out. I will link it at the end of this video, of course. Now, also, one thing I wanted to quickly bring up, my PSN friend list is starting to get full. I think it's about 3/4 of the way through, so if you still want to send me like a friend request or something, then please do that as soon as possible, because like I said, it will be full pretty soon, so please do that. And one thing, a lot of people have been sending me messages on PSN, and that's great. I try to reply to almost everything, but I'm seeing that it's pretty hard to do so because there are so many. So if you could, then you can send me voice messages on PSN, and I will just try to reply that way. It's much easier, to do that, and much quicker. So maybe that's a cool thing, just send voice messages to each other and discuss a few things if you want to discuss something with me. I think that sort of interactivity is just awesome. And once again, just want to tell you that please send me voice messages or something if you can, because I have no problem replying back that way. I think it's a great thing to do. And then last of all, the gameplay here is Don't Starve, of course, the game that became free for PlayStation Plus. I think it was 2 days ago. So I've been playing that for a bit. I think it's a pretty cool game. Might give you my thoughts on it, somewhere later in the week or next week or something. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool game, and I don't know if the gameplay is any good to show in videos, but we'll see. I'm just doing that right now. So the topic I wanted to talk about today is streaming of games, and like I said, it had already been pretty largely discussed the past week. Now, let me tell you what's going on here. So CES 2013 is going on right now, a big convention, mainly in terms of hardware. I think the name stands for Consumer Electronic Show or whatever, something like that. So not only did Sony announce that 4.2 million PS4s have been sold so far, which is an incredible amount. All that tells me is that console gaming definitely isn't dead. We saw these people, 2 years ago or something, all saying that console gaming would be dead. The generation of the PS3 would be maybe the final one already, or the PS4 one would be, because, yeah, like I said, people just don't want to play on the console anymore. It's dead. But this clearly shows that it isn't, because this is a record. Like, I don't think any console in the history of gaming has sold so many times in such a short time after launch. It's great to see. So I'm also really enjoying my PS4, of course. So I don't think that's very undeserving. I think it's a great console, like I said. So is the Xbox One, to be honest, which also sold 3 million, which is incredible. So all in all, in total, over 7 million PS4s and Xbox One sold within 2 months. It's insane. But Sony actually had a pretty big announcement regarding PlayStation this CES, which is something we didn't really see a lot in the past CES. For the previous year or the year before that, we didn't really see an announcement like this. But they finally revealed what their Gaikai service would actually really be. Some more concrete details about that, because we've been hearing about that at the PS4 reveal event and at E3, but not really many details about it. So the service is, of course, called PlayStation Now. You've probably heard that by now. And yeah, it's a streaming service. What more can I say about it? There's a lot of people who still don't really get what video game streaming is, what this would mean exactly. So let me quickly explain you what streaming is. Streaming basically allows you to play, for example, PS3 games on the PS4. And this is something that people are kind of questioning about, the people that don't really understand it. Like, why can I play my PS3 games on the PS4? It's both Blu-ray, right? So why would that not be possible? Well, that's simply, to put it easily, because the PS4 is using a completely different architecture. It's using to be specific, x86 architecture, where, for example, the PS3 has the Cell processor. It's completely different. What it all comes down to is that the games that are made for the PS3 simply don't work on the PS4. It's not that, you know, Sony is not allowing you to play them. No, it simply doesn't work. That's what it is about. However, streaming does allow you to play your PS3 games on the PS4. And then you would say, yeah, well, why is that? Well, it's basically because you are not really playing on your PS4. You are playing on a PS3 that is pretty much standing in a completely different location. So Sony has a lot of servers, which is basically big computers or maybe even just actual PlayStation 3s, and they have those standing in a big department, for example. So you should just imagine a million PS3s standing in one department, and you are actually playing via the internet on their PlayStation 3. And then what you are doing is you are sending them your controls. So if you press the X button, for example, that will be sent to that PlayStation 3 standing there. It will actually process that, and it will, you know, just do like you're pressing the X button on that PS3 controller. So that will happen, and they are basically streaming you back the visuals and the audio. So you're basically just playing on their PS3. They are sending you what's showing on the screen. You are sending them what you are pressing on the controllers, and that way you are just playing a game like you would normally do. Now, of course, there is some issues with that. For example, people have been saying this is the solution to backwards compatibility. It isn't really, because only a few games will work this way. Sony will have like a big library of games, but it's not like you can play any PS3 game on the PS4, for example. So, you know, they will just offer a few games. Well, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty big library, but not all the games. That's just what you should remember. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure that if you already own, for example, The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3, you won't be able to stream that for free on the PS4. It's not going to work like that. It won't recognize if you actually already own that game. That's the thing, right? One other downside is that internet has to be very good, because you don't want that to be like latency. You don't want there to be a big delay between you actually pressing a button and then actually seeing something happen on the screen. If there is a delay, then you simply can't really play your games well, especially multiplayer games. You know, if you want to play those well, then you better not stream them, because that's just not gonna work. You know, if you see someone and he sees you at the same time and you decide to shoot, and it actually happens like a second later, you know, it just doesn't work like that. That's not gonna work. You're gonna lose all the fights. You don't want that. It's only probably, you know, it could be good for multiplayer, but like I said, you will really need a good connection for that, and you could maybe afford having a, you know, a decent connection, but then I would say you probably only want to play single player games. That being said though, I do think this is the future. It's really great to see how Sony, for example, doesn't just allow you to play PS3 games on the PS4, but also PS2 games, PS1 games, and at the same time you can even play it on tablets or on smartphones. I'm really interested to see how that how that is exactly going to work. If you are, how you are going to control those games on the smartphone or on the tablet. You know, if you could. I think they already confirmed that you can like pair your DualShock 3 to the tablet or to the smartphone or something like that, or at least to the TV, which is what I know so far. But if not, you will probably have to use the touchscreen for that, which would be pretty terrible. But I'm interested to see how that is exactly going to work out. You know, how are you going to control all those games? But that being said, like I said, it is the future in my eyes, because this will pretty much mean that, for example, after the PS4, we might not even need the next console. You know, Sony may, you know, offer you this box which costs maybe $100 or euros or something like that, and you are pretty much only going to stream. You know, in the future, internet will be good everywhere. It will be perfect everywhere with big speeds, and then, you know, this could be something that you just pay for a subscription and you can play, let's say, 5 games every month. It's just, you know, I think that's the way we're going to go with these things. You know, it might very well be the last generation of real actual consoles where you are playing the games on your, you know, the console that you have in your home, and this may just be how we are going to play our games in the future. But of course, I'm interested to hear what you think about that. You know, do you think this is the future? Do you think this is going to work well at launch? Me personally, I'm still having a few doubts about it. It will of course work great for the people who have good internet like myself, but for the people in countries where the internet isn't really that great, you know, I wouldn't say that it's going to work well there. So they may still need to wait like a few years before before that's actually going to, you know, really be useful. But like I said, let me know what you think about this service. Do you think it's going to have a big impact on gaming? And then for now, that was the video for today. So this Sunday will be my top 10 PS4 games actually. So another one of those lists like I did this Sunday, you know, last Sunday with the top 25 PS3 games. So that's going to be a great video. Hopefully you will check it out then, because as with the previous video, I will be putting a lot of effort into that. And then for now, I want to thank you a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time.